pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village clerk, please call roll. Here.
Washington here.
Item number 2, public comment. Again, if you're going to have a conversation in the back, please take it outside. Public comment, all questions and comments are directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on topics on agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed one opportunity to speak. Is there anyone? All right.
My name is Ed Sullivan. This is just a suggestion. Through the years that I've been working with Parks and Recreation, we've come up with,
Do you have a comment or anything on the agenda item only?
oh, it's on the agenda.
Agenda item only.
Well, I'm a rookie here, but
Yeah. All right.
okay, then I can make a suggestion then?
Not tonight. All right.
Next week?
Yes, definitely next week. All right. Thank you very much. All right. See no one else come, we move to reports of officers. And under mayor's report, I've been pretty busy this last week, and in fact, going forward throughout this week, we've been working with WIMPAC on the new expansion that's going on over there. So I've got, I think, a couple of meetings this week. So we're excited about that. We've got some other things that we're working on, and hopefully we'll bring some good news to the community. Hopefully within the next 30 to 45 days, we'll be coming out with probably a press release. So, with that said, move to a report from village clerk. Please have your minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have several flyers on the back tape. One I'd like to talk about is the third annual Sauk Village Resource Fair. We have several people coming out on Thursday, November 5th from 3 to 8 p.m. Comments made our smart ideas with the energy efficiency program offering tips, tools, and rebates to save you money and energy. NHS Chicago for neighborhood housing services, foreclosure intervention, home buyers education and affordable funding, financial coaching and foreclosure intervention, Cook County Health for family planning, HIV, AIDS, and county care, Bloom Township utility bill assistance, resources for seniors and youth, American Red Cross, Free Smoke Arms, Illinois State Treasurer's Office, iCash program, Aunt Martha's, Healthy Start Outreach, Get Covered America, or Illinois, I'm sorry, make an appointment for free assistance with open enrollment on Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act, South Suburban Housing Center, Fair Housing, Lending Assistance Programs, Housing Counseling Assistance, Inclusive Community Grants, and we have Kelly Services coming to discuss job opportunities. Also, we have a special presentation at 6 p.m., Renters' Rights for those in foreclosure. Foreclosure affects more than just the homeowners. It also affects renters. There's a lot of things that renters need to know about their rights and responsibilities if they're living in a home that's being foreclosed on. Also, the newest What's Happening is on the table. It might not have been there when you first got here. If you don't have one, go back to the table. And it gives you all of the information that you need for the trunk or treats and the trick or treat. Trick or treat is going to be from 4 to 6 on Halloween Day, October 31st. But we have a few trunk or treats that the children could also take advantage of. And also, Trustee Williams will talk about the casino trip and the memorial bricks. We need to really get an order in for the memorial bricks if we're going to get them in the ground before Veterans Day. So the memorial bricks in the Veterans Memorial. Can we try to please get as many of those applications in by the end of the week or the middle of next week as possible so we can get them ordered? And that will conclude our report.
Thank you. Move to village attorney Mike McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
All right, village engineer, Mr. Jim Zarnik.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Move to village administrator, director of public safety, J.W. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple items. We've been working on trying to get a massive consolidation of all the vacant houses and vacant lots in Sauk Village so we can better manage the system with the commission, housing commission, Gary Hope. So hopefully we can come up with something pretty good about that. I'll go on and talk about that. We have, one of the issues is that we're constantly receiving calls about water bills from tenants and landlords. And it appears that both parties attempt to put the village in between, as the arbiter between the village and landlord reference any kind of bills coming in from water or other things. We have made a proposal, and Trustee Burgess, correct me if I'm wrong, we made a proposal that he's reviewing and he's discussing it for the public works tomorrow night about, us becoming, going after hopefully just the owners of the property as opposed to having to get in a fight between, or discussion between the owner and the tenant. So hopefully, if he, as it indicated, he gets this passed, hopefully that will be very helpful with the village. And certainly we have, some of these things I talked about earlier, we're going to get it out to the police department and the fire department, and as well as public works, safety for the employees, as well as we're trying to figure out how we can deal with all these water turnoff getting turned back on, and we have to fight, discuss. We're trying to mediate what's going on and get some resolution with this matter. Also, on the noise abatement program, we've gone through the list of properties we have there, and we discussed this directly again. Trustee Burgess out there, I believe so. And that is that if an applicant owes the village money and he or she is eligible for the noise abatement grant, that those monies will not be given to that person or that group until all the bills are satisfied. And I'm sure we'll be discussing that. I just wanted to bring that out, and I wanted to finally say on this matter, 2 days to remember, November 3rd, which is coming up pretty soon, is the application deadline. And the repair completion date is September 3rd of 2016. Also, we're working on a FOIA system. I'll be meeting with Gerald Pike, our IT guy, to get some kind of system to monitor the information, and hopefully we can get out the information faster to requesters about FOI. Hopefully we can get less FOIs and we get the information out completely. We also are reviewing the process in court cases to see if we can make any actions more accountable with favorable with us from the court. Specifically, some of the we've had conversations with Chief Judge of Circuit Court of Cook County about some issues that Chief Kowalski is going to look and see if what is the reason, what rate are we losing tickets, and which is subsequent money and activities from our staff. And finally, we're going to get our second quarter review for all department heads within the next couple of weeks. Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, thanks. I am my report.
Thank you. Move to reports of trustees and committees. Beautification Committee. We have here the Beautification Committee is hosting their annual fall cleanup. It will take place on Saturday, October 17th, from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. The committee will start Saturday morning behind the Village Hall. They will focus on public buildings, village access roads, and the village access roads are on the radar for anti-litter cleanup. If you're not able to attend this event, but would like to form a neighborhood adopt a block cleanup, those efforts would also be appreciated. All volunteers are welcome to join, and the committee's next meeting will be held here at the Village Hall on Wednesday, October 21st at 10 a.m. Move to the Parks and Recs Committee, Trustee Jones.
Trunk or treat will be Saturday, October 31st, from 1 to 4 p.m. There will be a costume parade beginning at 1 p.m. Parade will walk from Rickover Junior High School to the community center. There will be prizes for best costume for kids and pets. The community center. At the community center, the kids can trunk or treat around the parking lot. Pets are invited to participate in the parade and are welcome at the community center, not necessarily inside the community center. All are invited, welcome to attend. If you have any questions, just feel free to contact me. And that's it.
Thank you. Public Works Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to state that we at the Public Works Committee, we've been working on a few things. We've been in touch with the Public Works Director, Kevin, about some things that he's going to bring. Tomorrow will be our meeting at 7 o'clock. I was wondering why Mr. Fairman and other department heads bombarded me today and wanted to find out what was, pick my brain, but I see he made a report on it, and yes, we're going to we will talk about tomorrow about putting together an ordinance for the water. We're going to look it over. I think it's going to have something that we need to talk about before we bring it to the board and bring it to the ordinance review committee. We got to look at a few things. Also, with the noise mitigation, that was a proposal that I thought about. Also, we're going to bring that, but we need to bring that before Trustee Williams and with Jim Zarnick to let the kind of, not that we're changing, but, you know, I've noticed that, you know, we're giving money out to people and they may owe money to the village. That's something we need to kind of really look at to make sure. It's just like the lottery. You win the lottery, they scrutinize your dollar until they make sure you pay everything that you owe, then you get your money. So that's something that we, you know, we're not going to use the money to pay anything, but we have to make sure that they're current before they receive anything. That's something we need to talk about. And then also, I think Trustee Tates is going to bring up about the workshop in his committee report. I just want to let you know that that's going to also take place soon. So he's going to bring that up. There are flyers in the back, and we have some flyers up here. And last but not least, on November 11/11 at 11 o'clock, we're going to have a nice celebration for all the veterans. All the veterans in the village. They come out, and then we're going to have a reception for them afterwards. So if you know any veterans, please get in contact with me so I can see what the count is going to be, because we're going to honor the veterans like we did last year. And this time we will have a reception at the end. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee. With Housing and Intergovernmental Committee, Trustee Tates.
The Housing Committee met on the 7th, October 7th, and we just finalized some plans that we have for the homebuyers workshop. This was mentioned like a few meetings ago, and you probably have heard some of the trustees talk about how do we stabilize Sauk Village with the mobility rate that we have, which also affects our schools, because that mobility rate, when parents move, of course the children are leaving the school. And so we have a round robin of students coming in and out of the school and families moving into and out of the village. The homebuyers workshop is a way for some of our renters out here to turn into homeowners. There's a few stipulations, but bottom line is they can receive assistance for down payments and closing costs and that type of thing. So on October 22nd at 6:30 p.m., we're going to have a home buyers workshop. And we invite anyone that's interested in the program, who's thinking about buying a home, or who knows someone who's thinking about buying a home, to come out and participate in the workshop we're having. They get a chance to ask some questions that they may have and get some answers. So I think it'll be a very good program that we planned so far. Also, at the meeting, Commissioner Holcomb came and he gave us an overview of what the Housing Commission is doing, so that people don't get too confused. He came out and gave us some input about the commission and what they're doing. And that was helpful. I had a couple of people say they were grateful for that information because they didn't really know who does what and when they do it. So it was informative. And that's what we want to do, keep all the residents informed and keep them up to date so they know what we're doing. Again, it's October 22nd, 6:30 p.m. That's a home buyers workshop. And I invite everyone to attend. It'll be here at Village Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety and Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple items tonight. First off, everybody's been asking me off and on how the recovery committee's coming. Well, we been working with the Illinois controller, and he has informed us that he has sent notices out to several residents in town and informing them of their debt they owe the village of Sauk Village, and informing them that they could be fined, or they could have a brick put on a check, or they could have their license suspended if they continue to pay their debt in the village of Sauk Village. So he is working with that. We supposed to have a meeting coming up next week after next, and we'll find out more, and I will report then. Ordinance Review Committee failed to meet last week. It's my fault. I was called out on a house fire. I was unable to meet. Planning to hold a special meeting this coming week. We have 3 ordinances we have to review and get back to the board. The Safety Committee, a while back, we was asked from the residents to check on the tires of police cars, and I believe the chief will have something about that tonight in his report. And it's been a couple of years that we've been hollering to the Housing Authority and the building commissioner and everybody else in the world about these burned out houses we have in town, because the kids keep getting back into them and reburning them over and over. So it's real close to, I think, the county about ready to give the okay to have them demo. And when we get everything from it, we're carried, then we'll turn it over to the county sheriff to have his crew come out and take the building down, correct? Okay. Gary will cover that in his report. And then last is that as a director of Illinois Firefighter Association, I will be attending the Illinois Firefighter Association conference at University of Illinois from Wednesday to Monday of next week. And this is at no cost to the village. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to report tonight that on last night we had another great meeting with the Neighborhood Watch. Neighborhood Watch Block Club captains reported on different incidents that was happening in their neighborhoods. The calls have been up to the police station, and so I want to congratulate all the Block Club captains on such a great job that they're doing in the community. Also, last night for our meeting, we had 2 guests that came, Miss Shanika Clayton, because we're anticipating getting T-shirts for the Neighborhood Watch, and she owns her own business, and she was there last night to share with us some of the different styles of T-shirts and fonts for the typing that go on the T-shirts that she has. Also, on last night, we had a special guest speaker, our own police chief, Chief Kowalski, and he came and did an outstanding job with his presentation, and he answered the questions that the residents had. We were very, very happy to have him there. At the end of his presentation, I want to thank Mr. Gary Hogan for making him a Neighborhood Watch honorary badge. We were able to, Trustee Myers and myself, present him with that Neighborhood Watch badge last night, so he is an official block captain of the entire village. That was awesome. We're going to be planning to have a deputy registrar's class along with our meeting for the month of November, and then we will have our annual Christmas celebration at our next meeting in December, as we always do for the Neighborhood Watch. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee, Trustee Reynolds.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I get started with the rest of my report, I just want to see his email is not really working as efficiently as I would like to, so since we're all in one room, I was wondering if next Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we work with Trustee Tate, Finance Director out, and our village administrator, Sheriff Barron, to have the budget finance. I understand you may not have your agendas with you, so if each of you could email me individually or call me, text me, carrier pigeon, smoke signal. However, let me know whether or not next Tuesday, 4 p.m., would work, so we can have a meeting. That would be great. And as far as I stated in the last report, or the last week, that the Community Outreach Partnership Committee is working with the police department, and specifically the juvenile officer, Officer Morris, on the Shop at the Cop program. And I see that we've been doing some fundraisers. And our first fundraiser has started. We are starting to sell candy bars. I have 7 more left in this box. So I'm sure there's $7 in that audience somewhere, or on the board. I'm sure there's $7 somewhere. So I'd like to sell these $7. Trustee Burgess, I'd like to sell these $7 before I leave. And so that we can get another box cleared out. And also, I have 48. Well, cop program. And for those of you who were not here last week, what this is the program that the police department used to participate in. And due to budget cuts, due to personnel cuts, they're not able to participate in it for over 6 years. So this year, Officer Morris and I are trying to revive the program. We've already reached out to the schools. We will have 3 children from each grade, kindergarten through 8. And they will be, the school are choosing the children, however, they choose to choose the children. And they will be escorted out of the school and taken to a local store. We have decided either Kmart or Walmart, something like that, and given a gift card with a denomination of money on it. That denomination depends on you, how much money you can raise. And the Police Association has given us $1,000, and we have raised an additional $100 so far. So we are hoping to double that, so that each kid can have around $75. So they will be able to go to the store and be able to purchase something for them for Christmas. They'll have the opportunity to shop with police officers, and they'll have the opportunity to, in hopes, and kind of build a bond, and know that police officers are there for you, they're there to help you, they're there to, if you need it, if you have any questions, if you're scared, if you can't find your parents, these are people that you can look up to and you can go to. So, like I said, one of our fundraisers are the candy bars. They're also in the process of collecting, creating cans to put in little businesses, because every cent helps. So when you're in McDonald's, when that's what you're changing, if you want to throw it in, please look out for those cans in the future. And we are also taking monetary donations, like I did with Student Government Day. If you come to Village Hall and you find that you have a spare $5 in your pocket, give it to myself or the village clerk, please. I will gladly accept it for shopping at the cop. Lastly, after the Veterans Day celebration that Trustee Burgess is putting together, which starts at 11 o'clock, at 12:30, if you'd like to meet us in this back parking lot of the Village Hall, we are having a casino trip. And I know a lot of people in this audience are really big fans of our casino trips that we do for Student Government Day, so it's the same basic principle. It will be a blue chip casino this year. Again, it's on 11/11, and it leaves at 12:30 for the night one, so it's 12:30 to 7:30. The cost will be $35, and that will include a free lunch buffet. If you would rather, that would be the suit you got there, you have to do the buffet. If you'd rather do the dinner, then you will receive a voucher towards a portion of the dinner. You will have to pay an additional fee of $12 for the dinner. And then you also get $10 in free slot play. If you get to 1,000 points on your card after paying. So, if anybody is interested, there is flyers. There are flyers on the back table. They look like this. If you could get them back, when is the November 5th is the day that the registration ends. So, again, this is usually pretty good fundraiser. So anybody who generally likes the casino and generally likes the idea of children getting Christmas presents, you might want to fill this out and hand this back. We greatly appreciate it. And that concludes
Mr. Mayor.
Trustee Rich.
Trustee Williams, I just have, is there a way that, because I think Jeremy wanted to talk to you. So maybe I'll talk to him and find out when, because he was under the other understanding that other things were as far as shop at the cops. So we had a meeting the other night, Thursday night, and I was explaining to him how things are going, and he was saying that up until, in other words, they would give 1,000, but if money comes in, I was telling him that it'd be added on. He was claiming that it was going to be part of. So that's something that, we need to, if you want to talk to him, kind of get in touch with him, because he was on the understanding that they would pay up to, but if there's money collected, then it would be less that they would pay. That's what I was trying to
okay. If you want to give me my number.
I will. I just wanted to find out, because you need to clarify that with him before that happens.
Absolutely, because I know that Sergeant Salisbury worked with him, and from my understanding, $1,000 has already been collected, and then with her, she kind of explained the process of how it used to be, and then handed it over to Officer Morris and I, so we were under the understanding that we had the 1,000. And then
As soon as I signed this, he's the president, and I'm the treasurer of the group, and before the check is, it's just a matter of logistics. I just wanted it to be, understanding.
And you're the treasurer?
Yes.
If you could, maybe contact him, maybe contact him.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, that because that would be something that he would want to know, because they want to make sure that everything is. I told him one thing, and he said, no, that's not what he understood, so that's what I'm saying. I don't want you to do this and then come to find out later on it's a different thing.
Yes.
So, Sure.
Josh and I can meet, you guys, for us to kind of see where we are with that, that'd be great. And then, anybody else?
Police Association.
I don't know if you got some department heads, some binders, who have some spare, they'd like to give us. As I said a couple times, through the government day seems to be okay.
I got a dollar.
So, you know, if you got a couple spare dollars, so feel free to throw them shop the top way, and we would greatly appreciate it. And for student government day, I know I usually kind of shake down the trustees for $25 a piece for student government day.
Oh, that's different.
And so we're not gonna need that this year, because we're flush. We're good. So,
Please put that on the record.
it's all right. Trust me, my record can show you our bank statement.
Okay.
We're good. But, so instead of the $25 for student government day, feel free to give it to me by December 1st, and then we can do the shop at the top.
All right. Reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Fire Department 911 Commission. We're going to have Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Chief Felker is away on conference in Springfield, so he asked if I could give him a report briefly. The report covers from October 13th up to the present. Over the past 4 weeks, the fire department responded to 28 calls. Fire department responded to 6 fire alarms, 1 dumpster fire, 1 major structural fire, 2 small gas, smoke in the house, 5 vehicle accidents, 7 medical assist calls, 1 assistant agent, and 3 rubbish fires and 1 car fire. Assisted other agents could be police department, county, or whatever. Once again, I apologize for the chief, and he said, if there's any question, please let him know. I'll write him down and make sure he gets them. He should be back in town, let's see, I'm leaving Thursday morning, he will be back in town by Wednesday night. That's all I have, thank you.
All right, with the police department, Police Chief Kowalski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees. For a period between 9/16 and 10/12, we had a total of 15 arrests, 5 felony arrests, 10 misdemeanor arrests. One incident that's worth noting, a couple of our students at Blue Trail were victims of a battery with other students. Our officers responded in kind with Stager PD. We took the students home and leaving the investigation up to Stager PD and the school. I would like to, at this time, address an issue that came up on Friday, the 9th, where it was reported that the police department had no radio communication with CalCom. That is definitely the case. There was a 2-hour outage. It had nothing to do with CalCom. So the catastrophe that was reported was a human error that was found, and our officers, especially Officer Lukes, worked very closely with the fire department, and he reported to me later that day that we did not miss any calls. He was receiving telephonic dispatches from CalCom, and he would radio them out to the officers. We were in constant communication with CalCom. They contacted me. I know they contacted the fire chief. I contacted you, Mr. Mayor, and the board, and let everyone know what was going on. Our contingency plan worked, and I was talking to Trustee Tates, and who was an officer in the military, and as he knows, as well as anyone else in the military, contingency plans are to be adaptable and flexible, and that's what we were. So it was a success. With that being said, that incident is over, done, taken care of. I would like to report that it was truly my pleasure to be the guest of Trustee Washington and Trustee Myers at yesterday's Neighborhood Watch. What a great group. I'll tell you, if you haven't gone to the Neighborhood Watch, definitely attend. Trustee Burgess was also there, and Trustee Jones was also there. Just a great time, a great group. With that, the police department will be partaking in the trunk or treat with Trustee Jones. He sent us a great invitation, and we will be part of that. We are in the process of doing background investigation and hiring a new police officer through a COPS grant that we have. Investigator Grossman is finishing up the background investigations that we'll be making our presentation to the Police and Fire Commission. I'm also in the process of reviewing the general orders, which will take some time since it had been reported that they are expired or not expired, but a bit dated. I would like to have our general orders up to the standards of the Commission of Accreditation on Law Enforcement, CALEO. So that'll take some time, but we're definitely working on it and working on the current general orders, which are in place. And Trustee Meyer, I would like to add that as far as the police vehicles, I am proud to say that Officer Huffnagel is now the car coordinator, and I couldn't have picked more of a bulldog. Working with Kevin's group at Public Works, getting all the cars up to speed. There was a set of tires that were already had been ordered, and we're working on getting those on. Working with Mohan on purchasing the rest of the tires, so all the cars will be ready for winter. That's the end of my report.
Mr. Mayor, a couple of questions for the Chief.
Trustee Bridges.
Yes, Chief, first of all, I would like to say that I appreciate all the communications you've been sending for the last 2 weeks since you've been in office about things that are going on in the village, and that you've done a yeoman's job in informing the board exactly what's happening. Last Friday, I think that incident happened, and I would say within a half hour you informed the board of what's going on from the time that it happened. The questions I do have, first question is the COPS grant. Has it changed? Is it still we pay the first, they pay the first 2 years and we pay the next 3?
No, they pay the first 3 years.
Okay.
So it's a 3-year grant.
And then we pay the next
And
2?
we have to pay.
The next 2. And then, now, can they leave during that time? Can that police officer go to another village if he wants to or whatever without paying anything back to the village?
That we will work out.
Okay, because the last time, that's what I'm saying, because the last time we had that same question that if an officer comes here and they work for X amount of time and then they leave, we're left holding the bag because we had to put uniforms and training and everything else for that officer.
Correct. No, I'm aware of that. In my past life at county, I always pushed for repaying of training and uniforms. But if we're purchasing the uniform, we request that they leave the uniform before they leave.
Oh.
Hopefully, we can make a recommendation of an officer who's already trained, so we don't have to incur that cost of the police academy.
Okay, because that was one of the things that we put the money out for them to go to the academy, but if that person's already been in that particular spot. You know.
Correct. Then we don't have that outlay of cash.
Okay. Because I just wanted to find out because I thought it was 2 and 3, but it's 3 and 2. Okay. Thank you.
All right, move to public works. Trustee Tate.
Question for the Chief.
Yes.
Chief, you had mentioned that there's a possibility of you getting rid of some of the surplus vehicles that you have. If you decide that's what you still wanted to do, let me know. I have a resource for you that you could possibly use that will assist you in getting rid of those vehicles.
That'd be great. And right now, I'm working with Kevin and his group, so we'll definitely include you. Okay?
All right, move to public works department. Director Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've been here a while, so I have a little bit of information to give. Street lights. We have new street lights going up throughout Sauk Village right now. We have 180 heads put up out of the 505 that we have ongoing. We did have a couple fault location areas that we had to repair. One was out at Mark Collins, which is the industrial park. That's been repaired. The other one on Cornell, which is in total of both these locations, 54 lights were affected. They were just contactors. Those were both repaired. Also, we've had a few poles run down in accidents. One in 223rd Place in Brookwood, the pole is back up. The arm and the light have not been put back on, but step by step we will do that. And 221st in Merrill, that was another pole that was knocked down. The pole is back up, same thing. The arm and the light have to be placed in there. So it will be a few days yet, we'll put some lights up. The last major issues we have right now, we have one more ComEd issue. We have an outside light on our Calvage Drive here that has to be reconnected by ComEd. We have 2 aluminum poles that were knocked down in accidents. We're still waiting for the vendor to deliver those and hopefully the insurance companies to pay for those. And we also have 5 underground faults which the staff will work on, and we have worked on a few of them in the past, but we have 5 left at this point. That is the streetlight issues. Day-to-day operations, we still are working with all the departments as much as we can. Sometimes we'll further back than we want to. Definitely taking any calls from the residents. So anytime you have a complaint or concern, please call the village hall, leave a message, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. We also deal with vendors and just in general, the public. Buildings, recently we've done some upgrades to the police department building. We were requested to change out the front doors, secure the building in the front. We had 2 new steel doors put at the front with electric disconnects. We had the rear door resecured with a latch. We have inner door resecured, and we have the inner server room or the training room door secured. So a bunch of door work on that. We have 1 more door in the building to take care of, and that will probably happen more next year. Potholes, we're coming to the end of the season here. We do have to pothole patch throughout the whole village. We also have a few locations in town where we've had big operations, driveways, or street work. Our goal is to have those done within the next month and a half. The pothole work will be done on a day-to-day basis. So if you see them out one day and you don't see them the next day, they will return to that area to finish. Water day-to-day, we do have emergency calls for water. We do have emergency leaks in houses. Our customer service gentlemen take care of that, and our water plant operator. In the last month and a half, we've had 2 water main breaks. One was on Lincoln Meadows main feed line. The other was at 1950 221st Street. Total for the year in Sauk Village is 16 water main breaks. That's 70% down roughly in the past, so we're doing really good. Garbage on the streets. We have sent our sweeper out more regularly this year. We've been having a lot of debris on the streets from garbage, mostly a lot of grass debris, and now because the leaves are falling off, we're asking residents not to cut the leaves into the streets or blow the leaves and the garbage into the roadway. Please just stack them up for now. We will have a pickup coming up in November, and then you'll be able to place all those leaves out. At this point, let's see here, grass cutting, those locations. Throughout the season, it's been really slow going in the beginning due to the rain. We did have a little time in between with the heat, but we definitely will be able to catch up now because of the season ender, and we'll be able to get into our retention ponds and through Lincoln Lansing Ditch within the next probably month. Hydrant flushing, this month we have to reschedule. We've had some other jobs that pushed us out of that area, so we'll reschedule that for probably the end of the month, and that will be the south side of town. Street sweeper, like I said, has been out. We have a normal pickup, or normal sweep in October. They started on the 9th, and they will be out in sections, mainly down streets near the storm sewers where all the debris has been collecting. And then after November, we'll do a final sweep. Hydrant repairs, concern in Sauk Village. Definitely something we're all concerned with. We want them all to be repaired. We have repaired a hydrant at 2522 Orion. That one right now has a bolt problem with the valve, so we got the hydrant repaired and the valve is in broken condition, so temporarily down until we can repair that. Hydrant at 1803 222nd Street. That hydrant was a collar, and the problem with that hydrant was a collar. From turning it, the collar broke. That one's been repaired. We had a hydrant problem out at 925 Mary Byrne, an underground leak due to bolts failing. This is a newer hydrant. I don't understand why the bolts failed, but they shouldn't have. They rotted away, and the hydrant started to leak. That one is repaired. We also replaced a hydrant in front of Strasburg School with a brand new East Jordan hydrant, and we've updated the 5-inch connections for the fire department so they have the bigger line for more water usage. We're also prepping 2 more locations for hydrants. One is 22132 Torrance Avenue, and the other one is 2234 220th Street. These will be replacement hydrants. We cannot get parts for these hydrants anymore, so all these are complete replacements. And those also will have the updated store nozzles for the fire department. Tree removals. In Sauk Village, just like in every community in the state and all the states around us, the ash trees are all going to die and they're all going to come down. We right now are a little slow going on the ash trees, but any resident who complains about branches falling off a tree, please call us immediately. we will address the tree, we will evaluate, remove anything that's hazardous. If we can take it down immediately, we will, but if it's a bigger tree, our goal is just to make it less hazardous, and we will come back to it. Once we slow down in the winter, some of the other jobs, grass cutting, etc., we can get more out in the wintertime to cut those trees down. Our branch pickup for the season, the final pickup is completed. We will send a special pickup at the end of the season. We did have some wind the other day, so I'm assuming we're going to get some calls. We will post on our new marquee sign with an extra line for more information. We will post it on there for any dates that will change for the next pickup. But please, after we're by, don't leave the branches out because you might be ticketed for branches in the park. Vehicles, as the chief explained to you, we've been helping out the police department a little bit. We've been helping out all the other departments trying to get these vehicles fixed. We've had a few vehicles damaged by residents hitting us. We've repaired 3 of them so far. We have 1 more to go. 2 of them are Trailblazers. 1 was ESDA, 1 was administration, 1 was the chief's car, and 1 is a police officer's car. The police officer's car still has to be sent in, but it will be within a week. It'll go in and should be back in less than 2 weeks. Also, Public Works is working on all their vehicles. We have 6 main trucks and we have 2 smaller trucks right now. We're working on all prepping for winter. We should be okay with it. We have a plow in the shop being refurbished right now. It's a 23-year-old plow, but we've already had one done last year that worked out fine, so we should be good this year with that plow. Also this year, compared to last year, our salt prices were $134 a ton. This year, they're $62 a ton, so we've got complete savings on that. They'll save a ton of money in more fuel tax fund. And last, one of the items that we have to work on in order to do a lot of the repairs in the water department is main valves. We have a company that they do easy valve inserts. It's an insert they can do on a live main. They actually carve into the main and they insert this valve into place. It's not what we call a permanent valve. We call it an emergency valve. We would put it in a location in order for us to work on other valves, other fire hydrants, and other infrastructure to improve the water system. And this is for the future, for whatever direction the village and the residents choose to go. So we have 2 locations marked out for that. One of them is on Jeffrey Avenue, right across from the Marathon, and we have another one over on Orion, just outside on Sauk. And last but not least, the leaf pickup for this year will be starting November 9th. All leaves must be raked down to the curb by the 22nd. And that concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor, yes, I could ask Mr. Butler to explain the process of when a person wants to repair their driveway, and we have a sidewalk, that we're going to repair that might be going through their driveway. Go ahead, it should come up.
Yeah, if you have a lot of residents, maybe they have a sidewalk slab out in front of their house and it's in front of their driveway and they want to repair it. In order to repair a slab through a driveway or through anywhere they're going to cross, if we repair that slab, say it's deficient, it's sank already, and their driveway is settled too. If we put the slab back in place and that slab is in the level plane where it's supposed to be, it'll be raised up above a driveway. So we're asking, and we're only asking this because if we put it in there, it's going to be more hazardous and it's going to be damaged. We're asking residents if they wish those to be done. If it's hazardous, we'll replace it. But if it's something that you want to do aesthetically, that hopefully you can do your driveway at the same time so that you will have a higher sidewalk. We have to do concrete first and asphalt second. You put the permanent in first and then the non-permanent second. So we're trying to inform them that information, and some residents are okay with it, some are questioning it, but the goal is if I put a slab in to grade, it's going to be higher than the existing and the driveway, and it's going to be hazardous. It's going to be a trip hazard. And we can't do that. So.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes, I just, well, the question I have is how is the hiring process going? Are you close to presenting something to the mayor, or is it still open, or you still have some other things we have to work on as far as hiring for public works?
Friday was the deadline by 5 o'clock, so got around 79 or 80 applications, I believe. I went through about half of them so far, and still got a little process to go yet.
Okay.
Just so the board realizes, you don't vote on public works employees.
No, I'm not asking for a vote. I just wanted to know where he was at as far as.
I would think department heads do the hiring.
No, I just wanted to know where he was at as far as people wanted to, people are asking about, that put the applications in. I just wanted to know. give an update.
All right. UK Administrative Services Director Jazinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know, I don't really think I need it. Okay, I'd like to give you an update on the night court for October. Code enforcement had 211 tickets. 9 of those tickets were found not guilty. 21 of them were found liable, and 181 were found guilty for failure to appear. So out of 211, 181 didn't show up. So all their fines were double, and we'll have to go after them through collections or the comptroller. Code enforcement wrote for September 1st through the 30th. Sue wrote 270 tickets, which will be on the November court call, and they're for grass and, inoperable autos. Sue continues to check the water shutoff list for vacancies to make sure that they're vacant. We've ran into a lot of squatters living in these houses that they're not supposed to be. We are working with the police chief on correcting this problem that we've been running into. And also we sent out dozens of letters for inoperable autos that are in people's properties, driveways with flat tires, no license plates. We will start writing them tickets. That concludes my report. Oh, hang on a minute, maybe not. Oh, okay. Sorry. Also, we had a meeting yesterday with the village manager and Reed. We're going to start. Well, we're going to start getting these stickers that say vacant. There are stickers that we're going to stick on all the vacant properties, so when the police department pull up or the fire department pull up to a home, they know that it's vacant and nobody's supposed to be living in there. Also, we're ordering do not enter stickers for the police department. When we find people living in these houses, I'm going to call the police department. They're going to go do whatever they need to do to remove these people and arrest them. And then we're going to stick the do not enter sticker on the home. And then it'll be up to the police chief, staff to take care of it. We've already had discussions. If we do run into houses that are occupied, that shouldn't be, we're going to call the police department immediately and have them come over while we place the sticker on the house, because I don't want nothing happening to Sue. So that's another thing that we're working on. I sent the printer what we need. They sent me the proof stack, which they look good. I'm just waiting to find out the cost on them. So that will complete my report. Thank you.
Yes, Mayor.
Trustee Burgess.
Yes, Sherry, 2 things. The lights over at Fairway, has the owner been at least told that, it is dimly lit over there?
Sue made a phone call before I left on vacation. He was supposed to fix all that. I don't know. I don't go out past there at night, so I don't know if it's been fixed.
No.
Then we're going to have to start issuing them.
Yes, because it is dimly lit. He has 2 lights that are bright, the rest of them all dim. And then there's 1 light that's completely out. I was just there yesterday.
Okay, we'll start issuing him tickets then. We made the first call, gave him a verbal warning, and he assured us that he was going to have everything fixed.
Okay. And then the next question is Excellence, the Old Excellence restaurant. Is there someone that's trying to do this? Because I see people going in and out of there and there's lights on at night. I just thought maybe someone was trying to move in to, open that place up.
Nobody has contacted me for it. Sue had stopped over there, I think, last week or when I was on vacation. And the owners were changing out some tile on the floor in a section of the building. He didn't indicate to Sue that they were opening up another business. So currently I have nothing, so I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, move Finance Director, Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Mayor and the board. There are a couple items. I'm glad we were able to get the ICE grant extension until January of 2016 to install the remaining street lights. The next is the treasurer's report for 2014-15 is going to be getting done pretty soon, within another 3-4 days, and it will be published. Afterwards, the report will be submitted to Will as well as Cook County on time. The third one is August and September financials will be ready pretty soon. The fourth one is the audit is being completed in a timely fashion and still awaiting from the police pension firm for their audit. The last but not the least is we are working with the local debt recovery act with Illinois controllers. You know, there's a lag time of 60 days before the payments is going to come into village of Sauk Village. So it will be another a month or so. Then we will see the dollar amounts will be trickling into a corporate account. That is my opinion.
I also have a question again, Mr. Mayor, for Mr. Rao. Two things. The first thing, you usually give us a balance of what we have in the accounts or how much money is available every other week. This one, we didn't get anything to find out how much we have in the water fund, how much, in other words, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm saying the right, or the correct wording for that, but that sheet's usually given to us so we can kind of know what our financials are.
That's true. That's true. It's my mistake. I somehow overlooked and forgot about that.
And the second,
I will send an email either tomorrow or day after tomorrow morning.
that kind of lets us know what we have, where we're standing, and how much we can or cannot spend. And you know, I just wanted to find that out. And the second one was our bond rating. I asked this at the last meeting.
Well, still we are working on with the bond counselors and the present and the previous counselors. Hopefully we'll get the upgraded rating pretty soon.
I mean,
once we turn in the next audit, which is the current audit, hopefully we should be able to get our rating back.
But you were saying the last time the reason why we didn't get this is because the I think it was police and fire pension or whatever needed to submit their paperwork.
Correct.
Has that been done?
And this year, the fire commission, the fire fund has turned in their report already. I'm waiting for the police pension fund. Once we have all the three funds financial statements, then we should be able to get in touch with the bond rate.
Okay, because you do know that determines whether or not we can borrow money or at what rate we borrow money.
Absolutely, you're right.
And I know we need to do that because, you know, this is the period of time that we need to do that. I was just wondering what the status is. Thank you.
Yes, I am working on it. Thank you.
And I met with village treasurer the other night when I came in here, and he said that they were working on both of those to try to get it finished. So, I'll do that. Trustee Davis.
What is the deadline for the audit?
October 31st, 2015.
Right.
If first come to worst, if we will be unable to turn in before, we can get automatic 60-day extension. Therefore, we should be able to get it done before the end of December 31st.
Is there a penalty?
But
Is there a penalty?
there is no penalty.
Thank you.
All right. Move to Sauk Village Homeland Security.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the past 4 weeks, it has responded to 16 calls. The department responded to 4 fire alarms, 4 vehicle accidents, 1 dumpster fire, 3 brush fires, 1 stalled school bus, 1 kitchen fire, and 1 assist other agencies, and 1 smell of gas. So it's my report.
Thank you, sir. Move to Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Franklin. Bring in the mic up there now.
Mr. Mayor, our next human relations meeting is January, first one of January. I'd like to ask a question of you. We have a young lady at our church, and what she's doing is she wants to know, can she put a box out there for people to donate socks, new socks, not used socks. And what it is a scholarship for her going to church. And I know before the clerk had a coat drive, so would it be okay if we place a box out there for anybody that want to donate can donate socks for it.
So get with me afterwards and let's talk about this. Is it through the Human Relations Commission?
Yeah.
So you're doing it through your commission?
Mr. Mayor, the young lady you're speaking about, I don't know if you're aware of this, but she also is working with Sherry Jasinski after school through the Home Township program, and she's made the front desk aware of the program, and I believe that you are willing to work with her on the program.
Oh, yeah.
She mentioned it today. So, in working with Sherry Jasinski in the front desk, there will be a box outside for, it's called Socktober, and they're trying to get socks, and she's doing it for a scholarship. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, but Sherry's working with Lisa.
And we also look at the numbers and they join our human relations. So we need 2 more new members to fill up our building. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Move to Housing Commission, Commissioner Holcomb. Yeah, grab that. He'll take off the number.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and the board. The Housing Commission has been maintaining the lawns of 11 vacant properties through the summer months. Due to the suspension of grant funds by the state, we were unable to maintain the 161 properties we covered in 2014. With limited funding, the 11 properties were selected near the 3 schools to provide children with safe passage to and from school. The commission obtained permission in September for a village farmer to cut the fields next to Rickover Junior High as children used the fields as a shortcut home, and there was concern by the school district. The Housing Commission has been working with the Code Department, Fire Department, Police Department, and Public Works to select 9 properties to submit to the demolition through the Cook County Sheriff's Review Program. The paperwork has been completed and demolition will start in the near future. No date has yet been set as the asbestos inspection reports were completed just this past Saturday. The 2014 cutting expense was over $48,000 for just 161 properties. To cut the 312 neglected properties presently requiring attention would require more than $93,000 in funding. Thanks to the efforts of Public Works Department, many properties were cut at least once, but due to staffing and workload, Public Works was limited what they could do. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much.
Mayor.
Trustee Jason.
Commissioner Holcomb. Hi there.
Hi.
Are you asking the board for approval of this $92,000?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully the governor gives me back my $330,000 in total.
Good job.
All right. Move to Senior Committee, Chairperson Rose Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Senior Committee thanks all the participants for making our 12th annual Senior Spaghetti Dinner a success. Committee members and all volunteers worked very hard to make it happen. As always, the Morgan family provided wonderful music, and Flora Haynes led the line dancers. Congratulations to all the door prize winners, and also Mary Cunnan, she was the 50-50 winner, and Richard Mosley, who won the barbecue set. We were very fortunate for a terrific job, volunteering job, by former committee members Gary Holcomb, Bob Ketchum, and Beverly Sterritt. Other volunteers included Chris Johnson, Nadine Morgan, Heidi Parker, John Poskin, Chris Turner, and many thanks for the ads of Southland Voice and Stager Memorial Chapel for the tickets. Frank Williams and Steve Shimkins are coordinators for the committee's every second and fourth Friday Sauk Village Open Senior Activity. We have various games available as desired. The Rummy Club game has created quite a challenge for the participants. Beverly Sterritt continues the Silver Sneaker Fitness class, 10 o'clock and 11:15 a.m. every Tuesday. Our paperback book exchange is thriving with many thanks to recent donors Nancy Baker, Nadine Morgan, and Christy Peckham. The Bloom Township Senior Community Luncheon is this Thursday, October 15th at Glenwood Golf Club. Tickets were sold out prior to the deadline. Appointments are being taken for flu shot on October 21st and 22nd. This is all Bloom. And just a reminder, open enrollment, re-enrollment period for Medicare Part D. Medicare is from October 15th through December 7th. Counseling is available Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on first-come basis. For appointment and additional information, call 708-754-9400, extension 244. I do want to mention the choice of our new committee members, Rose Ketchum, Steve Stumkus, and Barbara Stern, lived up to my expectation of volunteerism. They are real troopers along with other volunteers and committee members. The senior committee next meeting will be on Thursday, November 12th at 7 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. Move to new business. As for a motion to approve the accounts payable and disbursements for September 23rd, 2015 through October 13th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, got a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, go to
Questions?
Trustee Burgess.
This, that we have, these are all immediate checks. Is that supposed to be accounts payable?
Yeah,
Yes, it's part of the accounts payable.
Okay, but these checks were paid already, right?
It's paid off.
So why are we voting? I mean, who gave the authority to have these checks paid?
Mayor.
And? Was it just the mayor by himself? I mean, that's what I'm asking. Who gave the authority to, did you have a consensus? Was there more than just the mayor that approved this? Because if there are immediate checks, I'm sure it has to be, and they were paid already, I'm sure it has to be some type of.
Yeah, these are critical to get these stuff done, therefore.
I'm not talking about being critical. I'm asking if these were paid without the consent of the board, that was done wrong. I mean, you just can't pay money without the consent of the board. Now, if the mayor took a consensus, okay, who consented to it? But to just say the mayor okayed this, that's not proper. And that's because I have a few questions about this. If the mayor is the one that's going to approve it, then why do you have a board here to, because it's supposed to be approved with the consent of the board. So if and I'm asking the mayor, did you ask any of the trustees to say, okay, I need to pay this? Because we just had a meeting last Tuesday, and then all these items came up between that time. So if they were important last Tuesday. It's only a week. And if they were that important, how come the trustees weren't informed? Well, I won't say the trustees. I wasn't informed as one of the trustees that we were getting ready to pay all this until when I saw this. Because there's a lot of things in here that I have a question about, and I want to know what they are, because I don't understand some of them.
I can answer all the questions.
Okay, but the first question was, who gave the authority, beside the mayor, to pay this? And I'm asking the mayor, did you make it upon yourself to say, okay, pay this, and we'll think about it later, or did you consult with any of the trustees to ask them, is this okay for me to pay this?
I think, if I remember right, the majority of these fell underneath the budget items, right? Almost all of this fell underneath budget items that were already approved by the board. So everything that is paid here was budgeted and approved.
All are budgeted.
Right.
I beg to differ, because when we can go up and down the list, because I'm looking at the first one, the mayor's caucus.
There is the membership fee for 2015 and 2016.
Okay, and I know with Alan Mack, that's the chemicals.
No, Alan Mack is IEPA construction contractor for valve 1, 2, and 3.
Same company we talk about every time they're on there, Alan Mack.
Okay, Illinois Finance Authority.
Illinois Finance Authority is the registration fee for the fire revolving loan program.
The what now, the fire?
Fire fund revolving program. Fire pumper vehicle revolving program.
I don't know how they.
We we have gotten a $350,000 interest-free loan from Illinois Fire State Marshal. And for that, there was a registration fee of $500.
I didn't see that in the budget, but okay. You're saying Pheasant Run Resort.
That is for the hotel for the police and fire commissioner member.
That I know wasn't in the budget. I never seen
It
that.
is budgeted in the police and fire commission.
It's under the umbrella, right?
Yes.
Okay. But this was the last minute. This is something that you couldn't say last week.
No, I couldn't.
Nobody couldn't bring this to the board. E&J?
E&J is fire hydrants purchased from the company.
Now I know that could have been brought to the board last week because you didn't just do this just overnight. Those purchases of the fire hydrant should have been brought up to say, okay, I got to write a check because it's due.
It was purchased in June of 2015, apparently.
In June.
That did not go through. It was misplaced by.
But we could have brought this up under normal circumstances.
But the village board knew back in June we were purchasing fire hydrants.
We didn't know how much they were, Mayor. I mean, you're right. You knew in June, Mayor, that we were going to do this. Why do we have to do an immediate check right now in October? Parking, 3 for at 144 each. What is that?
That is for the trustees.
I know.
Everyone got a stipend for IML. Why is this so important? Every person that went to IML had a stipend. Why was this, what is this for?
There is a parking fee for
okay, 3
couple
people.
of trustees. They turned in their bill.
Okay, they turned it. But Mohan, we had a stipend. If that's supposed to be turned in with your stipend, then, I mean, it shouldn't be a check that came out, if that money was taken out of someone's whatever, that money should have been paid out of their stipend through their credit card or whatever they do. We shouldn't have to issue a separate check if that everyone was given a stipend. Why do we have to issue a separate check that had to be paid?
For the stipend, you have to turn in all the bills.
Correct.
For this one, you have already incurred $144. That's right.
How did we incur $144 if that person's stipend covered?
300 stipend, you have to turn in all the bills. If you have spent all $300, you just turn in the bills. If you have not spent all the $300, you have to turn in, and plus you have to refund back.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're saying if the person spent over $300, then we're going to pay, or the village is going to pay an extra $144 per person because they went over their stipend, and that's what you're doing?
Yes.
You can't do that. How can, if you go over your stipend, that's on you. That's on that person that did that. We can't fund that.
I understand. That is the pattern we have been following for the past 3-4 years.
Yeah, the hotel and the parking is always been for.
If you got a stipend of $300 and you spent $500, that $200 is your money. You have to pay that. If the stipend said $300 and you went over that, that's on the person that got the stipend. It's not for the village to reimburse that person over the $300.
But the stipend has never included the hotel and parking.
Yes, it has. Last year we had that talk. Yes, it does. It does include the hotel and includes the parking. Doesn't include the hotel. You're right. You pay for the hotel separate. It does include the parking. You can submit your parking with the stipend. Yes, you can. That we did talk about. Mohan knows that was talked about. Because I didn't. I had to pay it back because I didn't have to pay for parking. So therefore, I couldn't use that stipend. Now you say that if you go over $300, that the village is going to pay the difference? No.
That's not true. The hotel, the parking, and the registration has always been covered by the village.
No.
And anything that $300 your stipend was for your meals and things like that. Mohan,
Mayor, that's not what we did last year, and that's why I had to pay, because I didn't use the parking last year. So therefore, the stipend that I got, I had to pay back $180 because I didn't. Now you're telling me that the stipend automatically, yes, it does pay for parking. It does pay for parking. You're saying that it doesn't. It's not included in your room. When you go there and get your room, it's not included in the price that we pay. Stipend is always, parking is always came out of your stipend.
Question. I don't know that if someone chooses not to use the parking, then that would be up to them, and then it would come out of their stipend. And we keep saying stipend, it's a fee, there's no enough. So if the person doesn't use it, then fine. But I'm sure that this is probably in the policy, the procedure, whatever. If this is our practice, whatever it is, it's not hard to look up. So if we could look and see what's happened in the last couple of years, look and see, we got a instructional page that came with our expense report. If we could look and see that, maybe we could all have a copy of that, because I'm sure, I can't tell you where mine is, so I'm sure nobody else can find theirs. So if we could just have that maybe redistributed to the trustees, then that would be great, and we could look and see what's on there versus what isn't. But, I mean, Trustee Burgess is saying it's not there.
No, it's never. I don't know where they got this from.
I honestly can't say yes or no. But I know that each trustee who went got a stipend of a certain amount of money, which is the policy, which is what we do. So if there's a discrepancy, fine. But I think that going back and forth is not going to solve this.
No, it's not. I just wanted to, and you're right, trustee. You're absolutely right. I just wanted to know because you paid out of your stipend for your parking. Because last year I didn't pay, I parked there where I worked at and took a cab to the hotel, so I didn't have to pay for parking. That's why my parking, I had to reimburse back. Now you're telling me if you spend over $300, that whatever you spend over, the village is gonna pay for it. That's never happened.
Is the document in like electronic forms on somebody's computer?
I've never seen that.
Can we maybe get an email or something to let us
The
know
village,
what it?
again, just so we make sure we're clear, we do the same thing for all of our employees. That the hotel, the registration, parking has always been covered. The stipend is to cover for your food and other incidentals, like if you have to take a cab somewhere, taxi, things like that. So we do the same thing with our employees, but the parking is always been included with your hotel bill.
No, that's the reason why I said, Mayor, last year I didn't use it, and I've had to pay it back because it was not included in my bill as far as the hotel is concerned. And then the next thing, the underwriters' safety and claims.
That is for the third-party claims that was reimbursed, that was paid on Village of Sauk Village behalf by the USK.
I'm sorry, I really didn't understand it.
This is the third-party insurers who works on behalf of Village of Sauk Village for claims reporting.
And when did he submit that bill to you?
They incur all the legal costs and other related.
When did they submit that bill?
They did submit about 3 or 4 days ago.
They submitted your bill 3 or 4 days ago?
Yes.
We had to hurry up and pay this right there?
Right away.
We didn't know this was coming down the pipeline?
No. So it has to be paid right away. Therefore, I decided.
Okay. Well, I still didn't get my first question answered. Who gave the consent to pay this other than the mayor? That's what I wanted to know. Whoever than the mayor gave consent to pay all these items. Does any trustee here gave consent to pay all these items?
Any other questions?
So, Mayor, my question is to you. Why, without your board approval, did you okay to pay this as if it was an emergency? We had a meeting last Tuesday. We have special meetings for less than. This is $107,000 that was just paid out. We just talked about this last year. We had this big thing about the with Gary Holcomb and the grass cutting. Now we just paid $107,000 without board approval, and no one sees anything wrong with that.
Well, see, $53,971 of that is money that was reimbursed by the IEPA. So the IEPA sent the check and we pay that immediately back to Almac. So the other things too is, again, I'm seeing the list here. I know Mohan comes up and says, we have this, it needs to be paid. Usually I ask, is this part of the budget? Is this something that we budgeted for? If it's budgeted, go ahead and pay it, stuff that, that needs to be done. So, the Almac, it's almost $54,000 right there. So you talk about 107,054 was reimbursed to us from IEPA to pay them for work they've already done.
But Mr. Mayor, and you see nothing wrong, if it was $10 that you didn't get consent from your board, that's what your board is here for. We are the ones that are supposed to be the keepers of the money. In other words, voting it out. If you circumvented your board and paid $10 without the consent of the board, you see nothing wrong with it. I don't care if it was budgeted or not. We should at least checks and balances. That's why you have a board, so you can have someone to give checks and balances. If you pay anything without the board, then what's the board here for? You were a trustee. We did not do this. We didn't do this. You know that. You were a trustee. And it was tried many times by many mayors to do this. But now you're the mayor, and now you don't see anything wrong with paying anything without at least having the consent of your board to say, okay, I can pay this. The answer that we're talking about as far as it being budgeted is not an answer. Even if it is budgeted, even if it is a budget, we can still at least, we're supposed to vote on it as a board to give consent to you to go ahead and pay. But if you don't get the consent from the board and you pay it, then you're circumventing your board. And for one, Mayor, you know that you are a trustee, you know that's wrong. But now it's okay. And I have a definite problem with that, because now what's to say that we're spending other money that we don't know about? Then when it comes time that we ask, how much do we have left? And that's what I was asking Mr. Mohan, what is the balance of the different accounts? Okay, I forgot. But this has only been a week. And it sounds like I'm going on and on, but this is wrong. I don't care about going, this is wrong. This is money that the village are supposed to put in other words, trust the trustees to overlook and to see. That's what trustees are for. But if you can do this without the trustees, then I ask it again. Why are we here? Why do we have board meetings? Why do we do this if we're not at least told about that this money is going to be paid out?
Question.
Now we can go on. It's not a matter of on and on. This is something that I hold near and dear as far as being a trustee. Because the money that we spend and we don't have a dime left, they're not going to come to you. They're going to come to the trustees, because supposedly the trustees vote the money out.
Question.
Trustee Williams.
All right. Two things. Number one, I know that these things are already paid, and it's a little in the past at this point. But again, I can see Trustee Burgess's point, and I think this is, again, what we talked about over a couple different meetings now. It's not about kind of what happened, but it was the process. So, two things I want to just kind of throw out there is, number one, payroll is definitely something that I don't think anybody up here has a problem with. Everything else on the rest of this, while there may be people who don't agree with it, it has already been paid, but if you would not like to vote on those items, then, I mean, the checks aren't going to come back because we haven't voted on them tonight. But I would suggest that I will have no problem with amending my motion, but that we approve payroll, because let's not let our employees suffer for this conversation and this process. And two, again, I'm going to ask if Trustee Tates, the Finance Director Rao, and Mr. Fairman, Village Administrator Mr. Fairman, can please contact me at their earliest convenience about Tuesday at 4 o'clock. This is why we have a Budget and Finance Committee. These are the problems I would like to solve. If we got this, if the Budget and Finance Committee would have gotten a copy of this sooner, then these questions could have been, we could have asked these questions, we could have sent out a board email, which I know we're not a fan of consensus emails about money, but at least it would have been something. The board would have been slightly informed that we were going to send out $107,081.69 in immediate checks. This is what I'm trying to avoid. However, I haven't been able to have a meeting yet. So if you guys could please, if at all possible, unless it's an extreme emergency, if you could please make yourself available next Tuesday at 4 o'clock, so the four of us can kind of figure out a better way to do this, because Trustee Burgess is right. It's the responsibility of the trustees to pay the funds. And if we're not able to give our consent, we're not able to do that. So, again, Trustee Myers just kind of asked me, because I made the motion, he seconded it. He just asked me what we could do to table this and move on. I told him he would have to rescind his second. I will rescind my first, and I'm doing that. However, I will ask that the payroll does get paid, and everything anything else, be brought at the next committee meeting, so we can discuss the, I know we kind of went line by line, but, so we can talk about that, talk about a better way to do that. So I'm going to rescind my motion. Trustee Myers, if you would like to rescind your second, I will be making a new motion to approve the payroll and liabilities. Okay. Then I make a motion to pay the payroll and liabilities for the total of $133,439.23. Is there a second?
Second. Motion is second.
I need some clarification. What is the liabilities? What is the payroll liabilities?
That would be insurance.
Are we not approving the checks that have already been paid?
Right, yes.
We're not approving the checks that have
No,
already been paid.
there's concerns about that, so I can understand
We
maybe.
just went line by line, but we're not going to approve.
No. Unless somebody wants to, from what I understand, there's concern about it, and like I said, they've already been paid, the checks aren't gonna come back through the mail, but it appears to me that people are not going to want to vote on these checks. So instead of that happening, either way they've been paid, I think we all understand that, but at a later date, these will have to come back to be officially approved. Hopefully we can prevent this.
So we're going to pay payroll and liabilities only, none of the other accounts payable, and the ones that have already been paid. I'm totally confused. Can I get an amount before it's getting ready to approve?
$133,439.23.
And it's payables and liabilities.
Payables and liabilities.
So you're going to, the rest of the accounts payable has to come back to another meeting.
Yes.
It's payroll.
The accounts payable has to be resubmitted to another meeting.
No, I'm saying it says payroll.
Payroll, liabilities.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, there's a motion and a second on the floor. I guess the question I would have is, what on here does someone feel that shouldn't have been paid?
Everything that was not voted on by this board.
These are items that you approved as a board during the budget, and that needs to be paid throughout the year.
I don't disagree with that, but I think that just like we have, we approve, every department has a budget, and they've got an employee budget, and that employee budget covers payroll and liabilities, but we still put on the accounts payable every 2 weeks so we can have it passed.
And the accounts payable are paid, and you vote on it after it's been paid also. And again, something that is part of a budget that this board has already approved. When you look at these line items, these are areas that have been approved, that this board has approved for expenditures. So
some of these maybe I think we could have been provided a little bit more of a heads up. Again, I don't have a problem with receiving these checks. It's something that's on the past. Again, it's a process, which is then why I'd like the budget and finance committee to meet so we can discuss a better process. I understand Trustee Burgess's concerns. I'm hearing mumbles from other trustees, and so frankly, even though there was a first and a second, I honestly, from what I'm hearing over here, didn't pass, which would include the payroll for our employees. And I wasn't going to let that happen, which is from Sauk. Assuming, again, you don't have to assume, but it would seem that Trustee Burgess would have voted over this. I heard a couple other conversations over here, so that would have been 3 no's, and I don't know what's happening with Trustee Washington or Trustee Jones, but if either one of them would have said no, then payroll would not have been, even though it was paid, payroll would not have been approved, and I had a problem with that, which is why I took the action that I did.
again, looking at everything that was paid here, this board has already approved for payment through the budget for these items we paid.
And I think at this point it's a difference of opinion, and maybe in the future we would have to be a little bit more communicative and say, this is what to do, we're going to even email. I know the trustees say that they don't like an email, and they don't like consensus over email, but an email would at least provide information.
And when was this put in the trustee's box? Accounts payable. So the trustees have had all through Friday. Had any trustees come and asked you anything about this accounts payable? So nobody questioned it, nobody came and asked you, you were available?
Comment.
So, Trustee Tiggs.
I don't come and pick up the mail until Sunday because that's when the minutes and the agenda are placed in the box. So I don't come up here every day during the week. I come up on Sunday because I've been assured that's when everything is in the box. So Friday is not applicable to me.
Monday, today's Tuesday, right? So, make sure I got my days of the week right.
And Trustee Tate, just to clarify, minutes go in the box prior to the Sunday. It's the agenda that has always got to be in there by Sunday at 7 o'clock. The minutes can be put in there a week at a time, weeks at a time, and those minutes were actually put in the box on Friday as well. Just for clarification.
Just for clarification, if it was that important, and if we were, had to get these immediate checks, why weren't, if this happened Friday, why weren't we told Friday that we have to do this and ask for a consensus on something? No one came to the trustees and said, we're gonna pay this without your vote.
You already voted to approve these.
No, we did not
During
approve
budget.
it.
During
So
budget,
therefore,
you
anything on the
approved-
budget, anything
during
on the budget,
you've
Mr. Mayor,
approved these things.
anything on the budget, you're saying that we don't have to approve. Anything on the budget, why do we have accounts payable? We can just add that in at any time. We can pencil in what we want to pencil in because it says in the budget. Why have accounts payable? Because I do have a problem with some of these things. And also I have a problem with them being itemized. Where are we pulling this money from? What account are we taking each one of these items out of? Okay, it's on the budget. The budget is a broad view. What line item are we paying and how much are we coming out of each one of these line items? You have things that are in here that are supposed to come out of multiple line items, multiple departments. But that's never been itemized.
All right, we got a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
I vote yes for payroll only, and I still like an answer for the rest.
The motion states
Go ahead.
payroll and
Just
liabilities.
roll call.
Yes, liabilities and payroll.
Jones.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Myers.
All right, motion carries. Item B, motion to approve fire truck and revolving loan program, loan agreement in the amount of $350,000 with no interest. Motion to approve.
So,
Got motion, is there a second?
Second.
Got motion, and a second, any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Jones.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes.
Williams.
yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, motion to approve special meeting minutes for August 11th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve? Got motion,
Second.
motion second. Any questions or comments?
Comment.
Trustee.
Item 2, that should be, second to the last sentence should be changed to say 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes.
That ordinance hasn't passed yet. The ordinance is still under review.
But it was approved. It was approved.
The ordinance has not been.
Listen carefully. That was a vote.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're saying there was a vote to do that? Oh.
Yes.
You're absolutely right in that case. That's a template. And for that time, you asked that that motion be, the time would be extended. It shows in the minutes that it was voted on to extend it, but that is just a public comment, what we normally do address. You've asked to change that for that particular meeting. So that is addressed in your comments right there. I did not change that because that was the template that what it normally is. But it shows that you changed it from this to that.
But this should marry up with it.
If you would like that you say it that way, I will make that change for you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Tate. Tate.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Myers.
Same.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item D, motion to approve regular board meeting minutes for August the 11th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Got motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Williams.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Myers.
Same.
Burgess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Tate.
Yes. Motion carries. Move to item E, motion to approve and hold executive session meeting minutes for August 11th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve? Got motion, got motion and second. Any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Clerk, is this the one we talked about, or is this the one that we just have to have a discussion?
No, you said that was on the August 25th.
Okay, just want to make sure, because I didn't have it in front of me. Thank you, just want to make sure. Yes.
Question for, what do we hold executive session?
These are not releasing.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Washington,
Yes.
Myers,
This is for the August 11th. Same.
Burgess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item F, motion to approve special meeting minutes for August 25th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers, Burgess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Washington,
Abstain.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number 7, consent agenda. Is there any questions, comments, or anything anyone would like to remove?
Mr. Mayor, the last one that we had, trustee Burgess asked that we remove the minutes of August 3rd, stating that he made a statement in there that he would like to have added to those minutes. I respectfully went through the entire tape, and what trustee Burgess said he did not state at that particular meeting. However, what he stated was included in the minutes of August 11th, which this board has just approved. So the statement that he said was made on August 3rd was actually made on August 11th. So I'm resubmitting the minutes of August 3rd in its entirety, exactly as it was the first time it was submitted. And I respectfully, trustee Burgess would like to come listen to the tape that is available in my office. Second of all, just before the meeting, trustee Burgess approached me about the minutes, the executive session minutes of August 25th. I'm not exactly sure what his question or concern is, but he would like to have that removed from the consent agenda so him and I can discuss what the issue is. I would be more than happy to ask that you please remove the executive session minutes of August 25th from this consent agenda to be resubmitted at the next board meeting.
Any other questions or comments or additions or deletions? Hearing none, I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda with item C being removed, which is the August 25th executive session minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion, is second. Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Tate,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Move to miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. Or trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There are a couple items that I did forget in my report. I know I took it last week, but the Community Outreach Partnership Committee and the Public Relations Committee will be working with the village clerk on the cocoa carols and more. Excuse me, if you were here last year, Christmas time, then we had an event, we had music playing for kids. There was a toy drive, so we were asking for donations for the toy drive as well. We also had Christmas cookies and hot chocolate here, and we were also in the process of doing a food basket at that time. So we will be putting out boxes in the village hall for non-perishable food items. We're still compiling a list of things that we would like to help the village clerk with making her food baskets, and in hopes that we can acquire enough funds and acquire enough food that we will be able to do food baskets with the Coco's Carol more this year. Later dates we determined, and the food baskets will be for Christmas. We obviously don't have time to do it for Thanksgiving. Also, we'll be working with the clerk with the Share the Work program. As you recall, last year, the village clerk worked very hard to get gently used items with warm coats, hats, scarves, gloves, things like that. People donated them in the village hall, and then it was a very well accepted program last year. A lot of people did benefit from that. So again, the two committees, public relations and the community outreach partnership, will be working with the village clerk on those items. And lastly, I still have 7
Trustee Myers.
Just one thing, Mary, you asked the chief, myself, and the village manager and the police chief to meet with the pastor on 323rd Street, Church of God. We met with them. They say she didn't quite understand our procedures on how to respond those in our town. We met, we explained the whole situation to her. I went back out there and met with the alarm company, went through their entire alarm system. It's very elaborate alarm system. It's a radio controlled frequency. I've had people from lieutenants and my officers with me, and also members of her church. We went through the entire system. Everybody on board understood. And first, I think she was satisfied with it. And I left with the police chief and the manager meeting her on other concerns. But I want to thank you for letting us know that she has concern about the alarms, and we'll take care of it. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone that went out there too. Thank you very much. All right, trustee Davis.
Earlier I mentioned the workshop for the home buyer workshop. If you look on the back table, you'll see a form, you see a flyer like this. It may not be in color because we don't have a color printer up here. So some may be in black and white, but just look for something that says, attend a free home buyer workshop. And then on the back table, you can pick those up before you leave. Also, I'd like to request, there seems to be some confusion because we receive our minutes in multiple. Is there a possibility we could change the procedure so that our minutes are provided to us at least a week after the meeting instead of several weeks after the meeting?
I don't see that happening. I can see this is the time to talk about the clerk and her minutes. No, the minutes will not be presented the week after the meeting. And by ordinance, by state statute, they don't have to be.
All right, anything else?
That's all.
All right, trustee Reynolds.
I forgot to mention, I do have flyers on the back table, and I have flyers on the outside table for the trunk or treat. Feel free to pick one up and pass it along to your neighbor, and that concludes my.
Thank you, trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to remind everyone that in our November meeting with the Neighborhood Watch Program, we will be offering a deputy registrar's class. A deputy registrar is someone that can go out and register people to vote, and it's not a charge. We'll be starting at the fire station at 6:30 sharp. So if you're interested in registering people to vote anywhere in the state of Illinois, any place in the county of Cook, or if you know someone that may want to be a deputy registrar, or if you were once a deputy registrar but your commission expired, you can see me and give me your information after the meeting tonight. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Burgess.
Yes, I just wanted to remind everyone, next Wednesday here at the Village Hall will be the town hall meeting. And also, trustee Williams, if you have two Chris, if not, then, I don't know.
We have 3 milk chocolate and 1 dark chocolate.
The crystal was removed from the boxes because there was a problem with that recipe.
Really?
Those won't be available in any.
Should have told me that. Okay, I'll see you after the meeting. Thank you.
All right. A few things here real quick. If you're like the mayor's Facebook page, I put some information out there about some job openings for the tollway. They're looking for an employee benefits manager. So you might want to go out there and take a look at that information. Also put out the information about Congresswoman Robin Kelly hosting a hiring event. That's on Friday. That's this Friday, October 16th. That's being held at South Suburban College in South Holland. Everything Tuesday, we just had the Meet the Mayor here last Saturday, had a good meeting. Was able to share a presentation, or put a presentation together on information we received from the IML conference. So they had a good meeting with the residents there. And I was informed that just before the meeting that the Cubs won tonight. So looks like it's 4-6, so go Cubs go. And on to the next games. So with that said, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned.